that never gets discussed in the health arena, not from my patients who have done all their internet research, not from my many years in practice colleagues. It just never gets discussed, but something that I learned many years ago when I trained to be a psychotherapist alongside my conventional medicine work before I became a fully fledged integrative medicine doctor, is all about the locus of control. So the locus of control is about where we operate from. Do we operate from an internal point or an external point? Do we have a belief that it is everything outside of us that directs and controls our life experiences? Or do we have an internal locus of control in which we realize that the power is within? So everything that we see outside of ourselves has actually been created through internal processes. So this very much goes back to the spirituality, the psycho-spirituality video that I did before, where we start to realize that everything outside of us is just a reflection of what's inside. So I'll give you some examples. Being within the health arena, being worried about the big bad germs. There's big bad germs out there that are going to make me sick and I could die from. So this is a really disempowering belief. So we're talking about beliefs here. We know about the power of belief. We know about it even within conventional medicine, that the placebo effect, often quoted as being about 30% effective, or 8 to 30% is what I've seen, but it can be 30% effective. What that means is if you believe in your treatment, if you believe in your doctor, it's going to give you a 30% benefit in terms of getting better. So whether this drug, this pill works or not, if you really believe in it, it's going to give you that benefit. You also have the nocebo effect, which is the opposite. So if you really believe that something is harmful, for example, a lot of people who come to see me are very naturally minded, and they have to take medication for something that that has been life-saving, for example, or it's just something they feel through discussion with their doctors they have no choice about. But the way they think about it is a very negative way. They call it names. It's this evil drug that I have to take, and the power of the mind, it impacts directly on how your body perceives it. So it can actually do you more harm. So anything that goes in your body, we take it with gratitude. We receive it in a really positive and loving way, and that will give you, and believe in it as well, that will give you the best outcomes in terms of its efficacy. So back to this external locus control. If we believe that these germs outside of us are going to harm us, we have a much higher likelihood that that's going to be correct, that's going to happen. If we have this belief that, we're in this, we're walking on this dirty, smelly, infected gym floor and I've not got any flip-flops on, what if I get a verruca, more likely to get it. It's that kind of thing. That's that powerful mind-body connection. And when we think about spirituality, if we think about this power outside of ourselves that controls our life, which is the kind of external way of viewing God, like God sits outside of it, God sits on a cloud, God's will is it controls my life, I've got no say in it, and I just put up with everything. Actually, that's not, in my view and in many people's view, that's not how it should be regarded. It's an internal process. Actually, when we understand quantum physics, quantum mechanics, quantum biology, the quantum field, we start to realize how everything is super connected. So actually we can co-create our lives with that divine process through mastering our mind, mastering our thoughts, mastering our beliefs, and really starting to realize that everything that's happening to us, for us, around us, is directly a reflection of what's happening inside of us. So an internal locus control is where you really believe in your own inner power, essentially, whereas the external locus of control is where you believe everything's getting done to you, and you're feeling this way because of something external to you. Maybe he did something, she did something, maybe you lost your job and trigger that, to bring it to the surface so that you can now face it, look at it, and start to process and deal with it. We don't experience any emotions in our day-to-day life that aren't already in us. So if we have any extreme reactions, of sadness, despair, anxiety, anger, these are emotions that are in our emotional body, actually housed by our body, that have been there for a long time, that need to be brought to the surface so you can work with it and release it, which goes back to the somatic therapy I was talking about in a previous video.